Hello. We're here. I wonder if there's a way that I can eventually figure out how to have stream only showing on the big one instead of down there. We'll figure it out. It's Wednesday again. I can't believe how fast it's been going by. Let's triple check to make sure I'm actually live on Twitch. That would be good. I am live on Twitch. If you're watching me from TikTok, I can't see your comments, unfortunately. But I can see them over on YouTube or on Twitch, and it would seem that YouTube is also working. That's exciting. Okay, just kidding. For some reason, I can't even see my comments. Why can't I see them? That's not going well. Well, that's fine. Hello. Hello. What a day. I'm schwitzing today. I feel like I say that every week, and that's because it is warm in here, as always. Let's see. Hello, hello. What a fun week today. Things are going a little differently. I have a Poppy this week. Usually I have a Red Bull. I have a Red Bull too. It's the pink drink today. This is raspberry rose with extra rose syrup, and then this one's a white peach Red Bull. And I'll just be switching between the two of them. Oh, it's 6 p.m. here, and boy, am I sick and tired of today. Oh no, welcome back, Lennon Moomin. I'm glad you can make it this week. I've been looking, oh my, I hope you can't hear the dog. I'm pretty sure you can. There is a dog. There are actually two who are let out at multiple intervals throughout the day to bark continuously. I really hope they're not that loud. This week I have quite a few sort of random videos I want to discuss because I feel like they really caught my attention this week, and I saved them specifically to talk about them on stream. But also there's a bunch of random things we can chit chat about as per usual. Oh, I forgot. This is the first week that there may be ads on my stream. So if you get an ad, that will be that. There might be an ad. Is this accurate? How accurate is this? Yeah. I'm so used to annoying dog barking. It's just white noise at this point. Okay, so sorry. If I could fix it, I would. And tragically, those pups are horrible. We did ads, guys. We did it. Yay. I don't know how well Twitch pays, but I will keep you updated when I get paid for any of it. I tried so hard to remember to promote this on Instagram. I don't know how well that went, but we'll see. We'll see. You're at the gym. Whoa. Mazel, congrats. I'm not at the gym, but I'm schwitzing today. So Instagram has been weird for a while now. It is what it is. What happens when you go viral a couple times, it starts to sort of backfire and roll back. Okay, perfect. I'm glad it's muffled. I'm moving this closer to me. Yes, welcome in. I'm glad you were able to make it. So I hit 125,000 followers on Instagram, which feels a lot more people than the followers I have on TikTok, because I have 180,000 followers on TikTok. But it just feels like so much more on Instagram. It was really freaky. Okay. Hello, everyone. We've got Beit Mamdani and Beit Abdul now. Hallelujah. Baruch Hashem. We've got some, I don't know exactly what happened because it happened, I saw it right before I got on stream. Apparently, Abdul said something about like breaking bread at Pesach, which is funny. It's objectively funny. Obviously he meant AI? They did an AI ad on my stream? Oh my guys, my sincerest apologies. I didn't know they would do that. I would never approve an AI ad. For example, on some of my other content, like when I used to have ads on my website, that was one of the absolute no-nos. Okay. There was a lot of no-nos on there, as in like cigarettes and vapes and political ads, because you were never going to support APAC on my website. But so sorry. So sorry. I did not know that was a possibility. And you're right. It is not your Sohar. I would never do that. Unfortunately, I do need money. So Twitch gets to make that decision until I make enough money where I can decide on my own. So sorry. Oh. Anyway, Instagram users are a different breed. The engagement must be more intense, involved. Yeah, it's also that on both Instagram and TikTok, there is no guarantee that your followers will see your stuff. But Instagram does have the notification bell. So some people do. What is that? I don't know what that means. What is. What? Oh my God. Thank you so much. I didn't. Thank you. Didn't know what that meant. Everyone was saying W frisky fries. And I was like, what does that mean? Yeah, not the AI ads. What was I saying? Oh, the ADHD is going to be very strong today because I did not take my medication this morning and now it's too late. So we are all going to be very chill about it. And we're going to follow those thought trains wherever they go, hopefully. And you can always remind me to get back on track. Genuinely no clue what I was saying. Yeah. I'm a Jewish from LA that loved your page. I'm so glad. Welcome. I hope you're not also schwitzing and suffering in this heat like I am, but you probably are. Los Angeles is awful all day long. Garnet, you're correct. I'll get to you in a second. We're talking about Instagram. Instagram has the little button, the bell notification, where you can be notified every time someone posts. TikTok only does that for live streams, I believe. So there is a slight more guarantee that my followers will see my content. By the way, I want to make something very clear. I have about 125,000 followers now. My TikTok, no, my Instagram stories on average get about 6,000 views. That is not even 6% of my following. And that's if, like, for example, this morning, the post from 21 hours ago is at 8,000 views, which is on the, I would say, medium sort of average. My post from 4 hours ago is only at 1,142 views, which is much, much, much lower. And sometimes they're really strong in the beginning, but yeah. So Instagram has slightly better retention, but TikTok, you can just get put anywhere. And the fun thing is you can get put anywhere, including in view jail, where no one will see your content. Like they won't put on anyone's For You page. I had a video from a couple weeks ago that got a whole 600 views. I have 180,000 followers. Where is this going? Because it's not going on my followers For You pages. It's not going on their following page. Anyway, back to what we were talking about over here. Ad maxing watching 2 streams at once. What does that even mean? My stream and someone else's, or my stream twice? That would be crazy. My favorite teacher from when I was in Hebrew school, whom I was used as a progressive growing up, said he would rather vote for a Republican than an anti-Zionist. Yikes, guys. That reminds me of Jon Stewart did an interview with Fetterman. And Fetterman's like, my hard line is Israel because I want to stand with the Jewish people. And Jon Stewart was like, Israel is not. I think he called him brother man. He's like, Israel is not the Jewish people, brother man. That's not it. Okay. When Bundes say nationalism is chametz, does that include decolonial nationalism? Luxembourg is the line. As far as I've understood it, and I'm open to criticism and critique and other perspectives here. As far as I understand it, when Bundes are talking about nationalism being chametz, it's the idea that nationalism exists within a very specific system of putting your nation above other nations, right? That's the whole point of nationalism. And it's the idea that Decolonial nationalism is still working within the framework of nationalism, which is inherently colonial, right? It's still working within that framework. And there are times when that's applicable, right? There's a times where that is the move because that is, we are working within the system. And there are other times when we say nationalism is chametz, it's about throwing out the whole system and building from a humanitarian place and seeing humanity as humanity, and that's not to say you can't, and I think it's really important that we make it very clear. It's not to say that there aren't differences between communities and that those differences aren't beautiful and celebrated. We don't have to do this melting pot, we're all the same, shtuyot, right? By the way, if you don't know the word shtuyot, it means nonsense. It's one of my favorite words. You don't have to have this idea like we're all the same, everything's the same. No, we can have differences and we can celebrate those differences. That doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to be placing one life above the other. Does that make sense? I hope I said that correct. I hope I conveyed that correctly. Just want you to know, by the way, it's almost 80 degrees in this room, and I am a cold weather girl. I'm also sitting in front of a giant light box because this room has terrible lighting. I'm actually sitting in front of two lights. There's one here, and there's a big one over there. So it's warm, is what I'm saying. And my brain is just a little bit soupy. The golem himself. Exactly. I am not a Bundist, I'm a diasporist. I love that you've trained your TikTok feed to do that. My TikTok feed does not understand me in the slightest, though it does show me my followers, and my followers are very cool. Like, I liked a video today, and I was like, I wonder who this person is. One of them, they follow me. Thank you. For what it's worth, by the way, it took me a long time to understand what FWIW meant. I don't know, I just kind of skipped over it and I would just read whatever. And then I was like, I should probably know what these acronyms mean. There's a lot of them that I've been on the internet for over a decade. Okay. I'm an old person, but IMHO took me a very long time to get there. I'm first time watching live, tuning in from Brazil. Hello, welcome in. You are not the only person, I believe, in the stream right now that's from Brazil. I think I saw someone else. Whoa, there are 30 people watching? Didn't realize that. Hello, everyone. If you're not saying anything in the chat, don't be afraid. Be not afraid. Exactly. 5 degrees Celsius. Well, don't make me jealous. Haley Israel comes to me in my dreams, Steven. So, babes, you're not special, okay? We're all dreaming of Israel in some way. Okay. I'm having nightmares that I'm chasing my grandparents' cat around the garden. You're not special. Why you aren't Bundist? Because I'm a diasporist. And I think that diasporism more closely aligns with my particular beliefs. And it also leaves a lot of room for non-secular Yiddishkeit. I don't know what half the acronyms mean. Yeah, FWIW, for what it's worth, took me a long time to realize that. I'm so glad other people are admitting this, that we don't know what these mean. People are just using them all over the place. And I don't know your life story, bud. So if your DNA test came up with Ashkenaz, it's not the one drop rule. You don't get like 1% back and all of a sudden you're a Jew. Jew is a specific identity. Calling yourself Jewish is a specific identity that signals to the world parts about realities about you. I don't know you. I don't know if you got 1% or you got 0.2%. As someone I know DM'd me, you're like, I'm Jewish now. And it was literally 0.2% Ashkenazi. Babes, that could be a rounding error. I don't know you. I don't know what your life has been like. Don't know anything about you. So I cannot pass judgment on that. I used to have on my website an FAQ. People were like, my insert great where my grandpa or this person was Jewish. Can I call myself Jewish? I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know what your life was like. People always say this to me. It's such a strange question because being Jewish is a thing, right? According to traditional Jewish law, should a Jewish Christian be executed or something similar? I'm assuming you mean someone who was born Jewish and chose to convert to Judaism. No, we wouldn't kill them. There'd be something called a cherem, which is an excommunication order from the community you're in, right? And then if you wanted to come back, there are pathways back. It's not like a forever thing. You can come back. You just have to go through the process of coming back. The salad bowl, better than the melting pot. It's a good one. I don't think I'm seeing your other comment. So I'm just saying, oh, there we go. I've had so many combos with my mom about how much we hate the melting pot concept because it does force the breakdown of culture instead of sharing, at least in our experience. And it's true. And that's what we see in Israel. She likes to use the term salad bowl because then everything is still itself, but it shares and supports the ingredients, for lack of a better term, around it. Yeah. I'm so sorry you hate the ads. Unfortunately, I do have to eat dinner. So thank you all for supporting. I'm assuming they meant executed, but no, we wouldn't just execute someone. There would be a cherem declared against you, as in you would be removed from the community. And what that means is, think of it like this, right? I always describe it like this and people always laugh at me, but it's the best way to describe it. Think of it kind of like a Costco membership card, right? Except you get it usually at birth or you get it through conversion because same thing. So you have your membership card. You are a Jew. And what it means to be a fully fledged Jew within the community means that you, as an adult Jew versus a child, you are responsible for following the mitzvahs. You are responsible for adhering to Jewish law. And there are certain parts of that. For example, if you could serve on a Beit Din, which means a Jewish council. A Jewish council, a Jewish court, right? There are certain things that in Jewish communities, if you're going to make an accusation against someone, let's say you say, hey, they committed a crime, you need to have multiple witnesses. And those witnesses for the specific crime have to be fully fledged Jewish adults who can testify to the crime. For example, if we're talking about a crime, and we're not talking about like killing someone, we're talking about breaking the Jewish laws, right? You have to be a fully fledged Jewish adult. Let's say you're going to be called up to the Torah. That's called making Aliyah. They took the term making Aliyah to move to Israel. Data center ads? Good God almighty. Down with data centers. The only data center you need, actually a library. Go to a library. Please go to a library. So you have your membership card, right? And there are all the things you can do with it. You can go and read from the Torah. You can make up part of a minyan, which is a quorum of 10 Jewish adults which are needed to open the Torah, right? To read from the actual Torah, right? If you became Christian, that is one of the only things where like your membership card is paused. You can't do it. You can no longer serve as a witness, right? You can no longer be someone who signs a legal document that is part of the Jewish religion, the faith. You could no longer be called up to read from the Torah. You could no longer be part of, you could no longer, for example, if you are a woman, you can't be a mikveh attendant. So you can't certify that someone else went into the mikveh properly, did the full ritual immersion. You would lose access to those things. You lose access to your community because you are no longer adhering to the covenant. And there are very few things that make that are as harsh as fully revoking it. Becoming a Christian, that's kind of one of the big ones. And it is because of the violent, bloody history of Christians continually murdering us. Yeah. Anyway, everyone get a library card. Yes, everyone get a library card. And if you are in Los Angeles, which I know there's at least one of you from here, my dear friend Bay told me about this. You can go and you can ask them about their stamp collection, their stamps, their library stamps. Every single LA library, Los Angeles County Library, they have a unique stamp. They'll give you a bunch of old library index cards, like for different books. Remember how they used to have those paper ones? And then they'll stamp it with the little outline of every single different library. And there are so many. And it's a treasure hunt. And my friend Bay is doing it, so I want to do it too. Okay, there's so many things I have not read. Okay. Been following on TikTok and something IG for probably about a year, although I don't always get your posts in my feed. Happy to finally catch a live. Yeah, hello. By the way I said hello made it seem like I was yelling at you. I'm so sorry. Hello, welcome in. I try and post about it. To be fair, I've only been doing this, Wednesday night live streams for about a month, but it is hard. Do not be afraid. So I won't hurt you. Just make you question everything you believe. I don't mean to do that, but I'm so glad I thought I'd do. Yeah. You're going to subscribe. Well, welcome. Thanks for the subscription. I wish the card gave you a discount on temple dues. I wish it did so many things. What do you mean? Okay. Are y'all familiar with the conspiracy theory that Jews don't have to pay interest because there are, by the way, if you're wondering, you can get a loan from the Hebrew Free Loan Society or the Jewish Free Loan Society, even if you're not Jewish. It's just set up by Jews, but you can apply for it. It's also not automatic. You have to go in and apply for it and usually have guarantors and stuff, but you don't have to be Jewish to do it. I've got ads interrupting my Zohar stream. I'm so sorry. There are going to be ads. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. I wish I didn't have to do ads, guys. I'm trying. I promise. Okay, what was happening? Same soda ad. Gee, Lord. Oh, I just remembered. I have a question. Yes. Do you feed your cats before you eat yourself? Yes, I do feed my cats before I feed myself because in Jewish law, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing is that you must take care of those who are dependent on you. So your animals. Your animals are the first one. So I always feed my cats first, and by that I mean I do have an automatic cat food feeder. I have an automatic kibble dispenser, and it has changed my life. For years, I woke up at 6 a.m. and did it myself. Now I have a kibble dispenser. It was $20 on Chewy, and I love it so much. One of the best things I should have ever done. Yes, and if you're in California, you can get a library card at any Californian library. And if you're in Los Angeles, there is the incredible center at the big Los Angeles Public Library. It's the Octavia Lab. There are recording studios. There's 3D printers, and they provide the filament. There's modeling studios, like 3D modeling studios. There's so many cool things. Okay. Happy birthday. Yamalette. What? Whoa. I don't know if you guys could see that in my glasses, but the whole page just glitched so hard. Happy birthday. Welcome to the 20s Club. It's not nearly as bad as everyone says it's going to be. You're going to have an amazing year filled with fulfillment and joy and happiness and prosperity. I'm so glad you're hanging out on your birthday. I feel so special. Oh, no. You know what? There are some, if you Google public libraries online and you Google them to see which ones you can add to Libby, there are a ton you can add where you don't need an address. This makes my heart sing. You've been recommending me. Thank you. Thank you. Getting hired as a library assistant is a goal. My back is already hurting him. Yeah, well, yes. It does say that I have a way here to I can figure out how to do it, where it tells me when my next ad is. I don't see it. Quick actions. Stream stickers. Unstable. Perfect. Me too, babe. So what are we? How am I unstable? Mod, active mod, Q, ad manager. There we go. I should probably learn how it works. Ow. Okay, next. Okay, great. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay. We have 22 minutes until my ad. By the way, if you're drinking a fun beverage, you are legally required to tell me about it in chat. No one was here when I was first talking about this. This is a raspberry rose poppy. I did add more rose syrup and more raspberry syrup because why wouldn't I? I am also drinking my customary white peach Red Bull. This one is also not sugar-free, though I prefer the sugar-free. I am not paying for the library card. Life begins at 30. I can't wait to turn 30. Now, here's the thing. You know that? You know the trend where people ask, this is a ketchup packet I'm squeezing, by the way, as a sensory toy, which is dangerous. It could explode at any minute. I don't believe in humiliating myself and debasing myself on the internet. However, I do want to know how old I look, and the internet is brutal. Here's the thing, though. I'm never going to do that because, again, debasing myself on the internet. I'm not doing that. But I had the amount of times people tell me, oh my God, you're so much older than I thought you were. Or, oh my God, you're so much younger than I thought you were. How old do I look? Again, I would never post on those Reddit things because, again, I have dignity. But good gracious. Gesundheit! 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 There we go. It's allergy season, babes. It's horrible. Blue V. What is Blue V? Okay, thank you. You immediately told me. I'm so grateful. Thank you for knowing I'd ask immediately. Everyone go fill up your water bottle. If you're not drinking something, you should be. If you haven't unclenched your jaw, unclench it. If your spine is crooked like a shrimp, Those are not kosher. Unshrimp it. Greetings. It is I, the Tony from the emails. It's not that you look older, it's that you have the maturity of someone who can study Kabbalah. Thank you. Ooh. Mulled wine flavored stuff. You know what? In the Schweiz, of course they have it. Join my club, you get an unlimited library card. Juneberry is a good one. I like Juneberry. You know what the really yummy one is? Sudachi lime. If Red Bull wants to sponsor me, does beer count? I don't think that's hydrating me. If you think you know me from Twitter in 2016, yes, you do. By the way, speaking of my horribly grown-in roots, I've been trying to find a hairstylist in Los Angeles who can do my hair for under $300 because I simply don't have $300 to throw away my hair. But I have not found anyone yet. We're hoping, but I am absolutely hating the transitionary phase. Someone left a comment. I talked about it the other day where they're like, I took a screenshot because it was actually really funny. Where was it? I also, by the way, I posted it on my Instagram story. I'm practicing for Rate My Chives, okay? And some people have never heard of it, so they're DMing me like, oh my God, 10. Wow, 10 chives. Like a 10 out of 10. And other people were like 6.5. And I was like, I trust you. 6.5, I trust you because you know what we're doing here. Okay, this is the comment that I got. Can't take you seriously with a kitchen and regrowth that busted. Why are you being mean about my kitchen? One of those things I can fix with a $10 bottle of hair dye, okay? Okay. I've never had an energy drink before. I'm scared of them. I have them every single day. I shouldn't, but I do. I was clenching my jaw. I'm glad you unclenched it. Red Bull should sponsor me for the extreme sport of being a Jewish woman on the internet, okay? Being a Jewish pro-Palestine woman on the internet. That is an extreme sport. Will Christians be welcome in the world to come? Yes. I'm drinking chai kurdi and I love being half Kurdish. How's the store? The store is really good. Today it's so hot. And so I understand it's a bit more difficult for people to get out there, but it's been really good. So I just want to say I'm glad you're streaming. Thank you for sharing your knowledge on the internet. Been planning to escape a bad household, and tomorrow is the day I leave. Your streams help me stay sane. I am so happy for you, and I'm so proud of you. Crossing my fingers for you. I'll add you to my brachas and my prayers that your path is open and clear and successful, and you move on to a much better place. The gluten-free trial thing I did, babes, I had to give up on that. I had to give up on it because I couldn't function. I knew that 2 weeks in, it was very unlikely that I would get a positive test. I got a negative test as expected, and I had to make the decision if I could continue doing that. And the answer is no, I can't, because I simply can't. I was unable to function. I couldn't do anything. My brain felt like it had bugs inside of it. It was like my brain was getting zapped and also filled with bees and maybe styrofoam and cardboard. And also my tummy hurt and I had headaches every single day. Not to mention I had to take my migraine meds every single day to prevent them. And those are not meant to be taken like that. So it was terrible. Real good question about wearing long sleeves. This is incredibly soft and thin, and it's also cotton. So it's actually quite wicking. It doesn't make me hot. These are definitely, oh my God, I thought I was going to die there. Whoa. It's like brain fog. If brain fog made you, it was just the worst ever brain fog. It also felt like my brain was getting zapped. These are a little bit warm. These are corduroy. I probably shouldn't be wearing these, but the answer is that I am simply used to it. I've been dressing modestly for over half a decade, and I'm just used to it, you know? Okay. Okay, what's happening? My roots are also growing out. It's not even a transition. It's just a blonde cut from black to brown. Ghost roots, just call it that. That's what everyone's telling me. I do have a sort of a transitionary one because I did box dye, I would say, for about 2 months. So I have about this much that was box dye that I removed, and then I have my actual growth coming in. It looks like my hairline starts here. It starts up here. Like I have my first baby hairs up here, but it looks like it starts here. Look like I'm going bald. I hate that in an era where most people live to be at least 70, 30 is considered middle-aged. Look. How is your mom 30? How old am I? I feel very old. Overstimulated. Yeah. 50th. Brain fog. Gluten could have absolutely messed it up. Yep. This is why I said being Jewish on the internet is an extreme sport. And Red Bull should sponsor me. They should send me free Red Bull. I'm praying for you. It'll be good. Crossing your fingers. Pressing my thumbs. Getting recommended to your old English teacher is the highest of praise. Such high praise. I'm so grateful. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, why is this one on the screen? Sorry, I didn't mean to put it on the screen. Nope. How do I get that off? There we go. Oh, yeah. What does that mean? I cussed out Slackline guy in his Discord server last night because there's minus. I legit didn't know. Who is Slackline guy? I don't know this. By the way, depending on where you're watching from, if you're watching on TikTok, I cannot see your comments. I don't know what you're saying to me. So you can come hang out on Twitch or on YouTube. I can see both comments there. And what was I going to say? Oh, you're welcome to ask questions in the chat. I can get back to them if I don't get to them immediately. What else was I going to say? He's a former Hasidic from Chicago. I don't know that guy. Oh, I didn't realize I switched to Red Bull. Yes, unfortunately, being gluten-free helps and is devastating. Oh. I'm sorry. There's so many comments on TikTok, but I can't see them because of the way that it's formatted. If you're watching from TikTok and you wanted to tell me things, please come this way. My mother cut a lot of our hairs growing up. My siblings and I's hair. And then I don't know, I just stopped doing that. And my also hair randomly became curly. And so that was fun. I do really hope that I find a hairstylist who's willing to do it because I'm absolutely hating my transitionary hair right now. Oh, you know what's funny? My partner told me about Bad Empanada, and I looked at their page for about 4 seconds before deciding that's not a problem I want to deal with. I actually don't want to deal with them. Let's see. Quirks. I love a diminutive suffix in all languages. For example, we've got lich, le, hin in German. Like Mäuschen, I think is so cute. And yeah, we have mouse E in English, but I love a diminutive suffix. I just think it's so cute. All right, there's a comment. Oh, yeah. I suffixes are cute. I love a little I suffix. I love a hin, le. Yeah, it is definitely temporary. We'll see. Okay. I have a question to ask, but don't want to sound ignorant, but there's so much propaganda. When you were in Israel, was it constant terror for the Palestinian? I don't quite know what you're asking. Do you mean at the time period that I was in Israel? I've been to Israel many times over the years, especially like growing up. Ito. See? Ito. I do love For those of you who don't know, my partner speaks Mexican Spanish. And so even though I took Spanish for 7 years in la escuela, mis español es mostly Mexican Spanish, español mexicano, porque es la primera lenguaje de la familia de mi esposo. So there are certain things that I'll learn and I'm like, I don't know if that's a thing in the Spanish elsewhere. Though I do love driving my partner absolutely wild by saying cafecito. Sí, un cafecito. Was in TikTok, move over here, realized my son changed my profile picture. Love it. I'm also interested in the children homes. Any books you can recommend before your video? I never knew about it, right? The kids' houses. I don't have any books specifically to recommend on it. I mean, depending on what books you're reading. I mean, there are various history books to talk about it, but I don't have one that specifically talks about it. I can look into some books on kibbutzim specifically and see what they write about it. Though, unfortunately, many of the books that I've come across so far, the reason I won't recommend them is that they're all very much propaganda and they don't discuss any of the negative aspects. They talk about how much the kids loved it and how exciting it was for the kids to, for example, wake up one night and go hang out with their dad for a little bit and eat French fries before going back to bed. And it's like, yeah, that's a cute story, but that is also not the entire story, nor the story for everyone, right? I think, is this the same person? I mean, yeah, there's been consistent terror for Palestinians since before 1948. There have definitely been years where there's more pronounced violence, and there's been years where there's less pronounced violence, but yes. I need to know how this is pronounced. Krumpli? We're Googling it immediately. By the way, we have an ad in 8 minutes. So sorry. Googling this immediately so I can hear it. Hungarian scallop potatoes. Okay. That's a different word. Potato. Wow. Did I have my audio off? Krumpli. That is so cute. I don't know how correctly I said that, but I loved every moment of it. The Ludomir Rebbe. Which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the maiden Ludmir? They called her Rebbe. Where is she? Tribe of Dina. It's why they're on a different shelf. I have Glickle of Helmel here, but I think the Maiden of Ludmir is on another shelf because I'm pretty sure I saw it in my fiction shelf because I put it there when I would. I just realized I was talking all the way over there, and I'm sure you couldn't hear me. I do have a book on the Maiden of Ludmir, who is a very cool Rabbi Hannah, who she married a guy. I believe he either died or they got divorced. And then she lived in the woods teaching Torah. And they called her Rebbe, and they would go to her and they would learn from her. Isn't that sick? Anyway, I have a book on her, but I'm pretty sure I left it on my other bookshelves. For those of you who know, this is all nonfiction and history. And there's some folk tales, but most of my fiction, it lives in another shelf. Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Krumpli. Yeah, conspiracy theories are almost, you know how John Green wrote Everything is Tuberculosis? I could write a book called Everything is Anti-Semitism. And is it real? No, not everything is anti-Semitism, just like not everything is tuberculosis, but so much more than you think. So much more than you think. Yeah, the Hebrew language system, it's not intuitive. Let's just say that. Drew the Magician card. Okay. And I would read that book. Everything is Anti-Semitism is a fun idea. I kind of want to do one where it's just like you mention something to me and I figure out how to connect it to anti-Semitism. I saw one from John Green where they did that with tuberculosis. Like he was like the Rose Bowl parade, and it's like, yeah, that was a tuberculosis colony in Pasadena. Yeah. Angels in Christianity, Judaism, Islam. Many of them are shared, but there are certain that are not shared. For example, it's not just angels, it's also demons. Any of these quasi mythological fantasies, fantastical creatures. If you've ever taken my introduction to Jewish magic lecture, which is available on my website for as little as $9, I talk about the idea of there being these sort of three realms, right? We have divinity over here, and we have the mundane over here, right? The natural world. And in the middle, there's sort of this mystical world, this magical world that it's sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? A line graph, right? Divinity is everything, and divinity is the holiest of holies. And then we've got angels, and we've got demons, and then we've got all these other creatures that sort of exist, right? Like golems, vampires, mud mice, men of the field. By the way, if you don't know what a man of the field is, it's a pre-flood of Noah creature that is exactly like a human, except for the fact that it has an umbilical cord that attaches it to a plant. And when the umbilical cord is severed, it dies. And it was also real vicious and would kill anything that came within its umbilical cord radius. Don't worry, though. Jewish myth teaches that they all got killed in the flood. So we're all good. But yeah, so that's sort of in the middle. And then we have mundanity, right? Things like rocks, the ground, earth, laws of gravity, physics, that kind of thing. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Oh. Bacon numbers. What are we talking about? I missed it. Okay. The bacon numbers. What are bacon numbers? Am I missing something? This one's fun because they'll say things to me about the Talmud, and I'm like, that's not in the Talmud. Also, which Talmud? I know you're usually saying the Talmud Bavli, but you don't know the difference between Bavli and Yerushalmi, so. I do love this kind of anti-Semitism, and I mean, I hate it, but I love it because it's hilarious and also insane. It's just the model minority myth in another way. Want to fight that plant, it's going to kill you. Chas v'shalom. I did not enjoy Everything is Tuberculosis. Oh, he didn't have any citations? I didn't read that book. Fully transparent, I did not read it. Right. That's awful. Do you have any tarot cards you feel an affinity with as an individual cards or a specific deck? You are not alone. I know quite a few people who went on Birthright before learning about anything and being absolutely shocked and having to relearn many things. And I've also known people who went on Birthright and that's what opened their eyes because they were absolutely shocked. Birthright is a very strange thing. I have many decks, but a lot of them are not here. I keep a lot of them at the shop. My favorite deck is the Fyodor Pavlov deck. I think it's so beautiful. Cards wise, I really, really, really love the Sun. It was my signifier card before I was born. And I've been really enjoying the Four of Wands and the Two of and the Cups. I've been really enjoying the Cups as a suit lately. But yeah. Right. No bibliography is bonkers. That's crazy. You need a bibliography. Do love. I just don't understand. I don't know. I'm not in. I struggle when it comes to a lot of these pop nonfiction books. Oh man, some people are just using things incorrectly. Ay, ay, ay. By the way, my Instagram has been nuts lately because those videos. Remember the Nazi romance between a Jewish woman and an SS officer? And then that person was promoting it using AI Drek. I think this was from our first ever live stream, like my first Twitch stream. Who remembers that? Raise your hand. Oh, yes. Bacon numbers of separation. Yeah. So I've always done it in numbers to the queen. I guess it's degrees to Kevin Bacon. Wow. Okay. What was I saying? I am not a Leo. You can guess my sign if you want, but I'm not a Leo. Anyway, so the Nazi love story video, I posted it on my TikTok first, and for some reason I just forgot to post it on Instagram. And Instagram has this thing called trial reels where they post it first they show it to people who don't follow you. And it's a really good way to get your account out there. Sometimes they don't work. Like, for example, this video got 6,000 views. All right, not a big deal. I posted the one about the horrible cow writing that book. And it got 474,000 views in how many hours? I don't know. Like 8. I think I posted it yesterday. And so I gained a bunch of followers from that, but also the comments are nuts. And I also posted this other video talking about the early Zionists, because of course. And man, did people get angry at that one. So my comments have just been horrible. Whoa, there's a lot going on in this chat right now. I cannot see everything. You did remember correctly. Oh, there's an ad. I forgot about that. I don't know if you can hear me while the ads are going. Uh-oh. Oh, I wonder if YouTube can still hear me. Okay, if you're YouTube, you can still hear me, maybe. I don't know. Oh God, what did I press? Right. Oi, ese balagan. Gesundheit! 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 I'm not getting any ads. Oh, well, we can hear you on YouTube. Okay, people on YouTube can still hear me. Fantastic. Well, I don't know what's happening with the ads. We'll see. Whoa. They just changed my insight thing? That's crazy. Hello. Welcome back. Yeah, YouTube, you and I, we're good. I'm not monetized on there yet. They won't pay me anything. We can have a moment. We can have our chit chat moment. There's 7 seconds left. Let's see. Okay. Who's that sneezing? My partner is sneezing because it's allergy season. So I'm making sure to say Gesundheit. Oh. I could add that bot. I won't though, because I don't know how to. 5 okay, so here's a little info from my end. I tried to lower the amount of ads that would be shown, but they don't do it by ad. They do it by length. So I was like, hey, what's the shortest amount? And they're like, you can either do 5 minutes of ad total per hour, and you can split that up and do it multiple times. And apparently the most common is 1.5 minutes every 30 minutes. That's what I said to do, because they wanted to do 30 seconds of ads every like 15 minutes or something. And I was like, that's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. So sorry. But yeah. I don't know where I left off, by the way. Totally forgot ads were happening. Was just chatting this whole time. I speak some Hebrew, but I speak more Yiddish. I don't mind ads, but Advertising Wars My Country don't know how to make good ads, so I don't like them. You know what? Here's the thing. I know so many people in the ad industry here in Los Angeles that make nationwide ads, and don't worry, they're trying really hard. Breaking news, Twitch invents TV, cable TV ad breaks. Yeah, they do. It's crazy. The videos, I think. Oh, yeah. So I made these videos. I made the video and it was on Instagram posting about the horrible Nazi cow making that. No, the video, the person who made the AI Drek, let's be honest, the consensus my comments came to was that it was actually Dramini that was fed into an AI generator to make an AI promotion for her babies, one of whom, by the way, is an SS officer. Don't ask me. Yeah, so that was, people are just being bonkers on the internet. My Instagram is going nuts. And Facebook is even worse. Eze balagan. It's awful. It's terrible. I hate it, but what is this minute? What? I can just run an ad break? That's hilarious. What does this mean? Wow. Wow. Whew, there are a lot of people here. Welcome in. Oh, someone asked me a question and I already missed it immediately. Ads, 30 seconds something. Oh, yeah. I am going to push back on that comment. Blaming gay people for Nazism is dangerous. And the idea that all Nazis are secretly gay is, again, dangerous. It is promoting the idea that, one, that Nazism and gayness are intertwined. Are there Nazis who are secretly queer? Are there Nazis who are openly gay? Yes. But the idea that all Nazis are gay is simply shifting the blame and doesn't allow people to be held accountable. Okay. We're going back to something else. Queen, why aren't you responding to your question? Queen, I can't see your question. I don't know if you're okay with Queen. I actually don't know that. I just responded with that. Hope you're okay with being called Queen. I have never seen the original Godzilla. I have not seen many films. Film is just not my area. I haven't seen many films. People are always asking me, so. Did you delete your video reading early Zionist work? I only found part 2. No, I don't know which one you're talking about, though. I've done many of them. They shouldn't be deleted, but you can always scroll back to the original. I started posting them, I would say, in February this year, so you can always scroll back to February and see. You might have to go to the Reels page, though, on my Instagram, because I do remove them from the grid because the grid looks so messy and sloppy that way. Okay, I don't know what this emoji is, but it looks wild. All right. We don't have any mods. Okay, it's just me, and I'm trying my best. Now's your chance. Yes, I don't see your comment, and I don't see it anywhere when I scroll, so you might have to ask again. So sorry. If I don't see it the first time, you're welcome to just ask again. If I don't feel like answering a question, I will just tell you I'm not answering that. Have I seen the 2000s Godzilla? No, I have not. I have not seen that either. Off topic, but learned that there's in Japanese folklore, there are concepts of ikiryo. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Fun fact, it took 5 years of Japanese in elementary school. And that's something similar to the evil eye, where someone has a strong grudge or want to revenge on someone. Part of their soul can detach and bring harm to that person that grudge is against. Huh. That is interesting. Recommend books for people who want to understand Judaism. It depends on what area of Judaism you're interested in. There are many basic good ones you can find online. There's also a ton of really good resources online, depending on what topic you're looking into. I mean, there's the classics like My Jewish Learning and Chabad, but you have to be aware that they do have a bias. And so it really does depend. Depends on what you're looking to learn. If you have a specific interest in one specific thing, I can find something else. I mean, there are classic texts like the Jewish Question. Where is it? Where are they? Tilishkin's Jewish Literacy is always recommended. But again, as always, there are, why was I so blurry? There are biases within the text, and many of them are quite pro-Israel, especially if they're published post-48. Thank you. When you get confident with stream, you can choose mods you trust. Will do. I love that little emoji. This last month, my Facebook feed just took a rapid turn towards Zionists and evangelical creators, and it's like every other video I have to block another account and hit not interested. Yeah, same. I don't follow anyone on Facebook because I don't really consume my content via Facebook. But when I log in, the amount of horrible things they try and show me and try and get me interested in. Oh, I love when you guys start knowing each other. What do I think about the Yiddish electronic music scene in New York? I think there's a lot of really cool people in it. I am not personally part of it, but I love it for them. I am so deeply not a musician. I wish that I was musically inclined, but I'm really not. So there's a lot of spaces that are just not my space to be in. Choosing a Jewish Life by Anita Diamante is one that's very, very popular. Alfred Kolach's The Jewish Question is also really popular, but I haven't finished that one. On the topic of not watching much TV, I've been working to switch from social media to reading. I just started Thistlefoot. It's so good. Thistlefoot's amazing. We did that in my book club. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I have a Patreon. It's for my company, Jewitches, and there's over 1,000 posts already in it. So when you get in, you get 5 years of content. But the $10 tier, so it's $10 a month, or cheaper if you get the annual subscription, we have a Discord server and we have a book club. And we did Thistlefoot last year, and that was so fun and so good. We're about to start a new book on the 11th of this month in 6 days, and that is Jewish Magic and Superstition by Joshua Trachtenberg. That you can see my personal copy is tabbed and highlighted to the high heavens. So many notes. It's so good. And I'm really excited to do that. So there's also that if you want to support me and also be part of it. I know nothing about it, and I thought reading the Torah would be difficult to understand. You're right. Reading the Torah is never a good place to start because I always kind of describe it as not understanding how, you can read it on your own, absolutely, but it's not going to teach you about Judaism. It's going to teach you about Torah, and it's going to teach you what's in Torah, but not how it was understood, not how it's interpreted, not how it was perceived, because the way that we perceive things is shaped by the societies we're in. And so chances are it's just not going to be the best way to look for it. Oh man, that is such a bummer. Yeah, I get that. I do know that there are there are ways you can just say for religious exemption where you don't have to be more explicit. You can just say it's for a religious reason, but it depends on the school, obviously. Do you have thoughts on the Michigan primary? I mean, I'm glad that Haley Stevens didn't win. Yiddish electronic music scene. There, you know what? Yiddish, EDM, much more extensive than you think. How would one convert to? Great question. So in order to convert to Judaism, you would approach a rabbi. You might be turned away multiple times. It's a tradition. It's not a requirement, but you might be turned away because the reality is you don't need to be Jewish to be a good person. You don't need to be Jewish to have a good relationship with divinity, with God. You don't have to be Jewish to do those things. You don't have to be Jewish to be a moral person, be a kind person, be an intellectual person, be a spiritual person, be a godly person. That's not what being Jewish is about. Yes, we should be those things, but it's not the only way to be those things. And Judaism acknowledges that. Judaism is, you've probably heard the phrase chosen people. It's one of my least favorite phrases, and we'll talk about it a lot later. Judaism has traditionally understood it to be, we are taking on the covenant. So you know those 10 commandments that you've probably learned about before? Yeah, that's just the first 10. Judaism has 613. Many of them are just very practical. Some of them are just very practical, like wash your hands. One of my personal favorites, when you are in a camp, you dig the latrine trench outside of the camp. That is a commandment. You have to do that. Okay? Here's the thing. If you want to dig your latrine trench right by your head, that's not my problem. I am not doing that. To be Jewish is to take on those commandments, to take on that covenant. You can take on that covenant as well. You can become a Jew. But just because you don't follow those 613 rules doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you any of those things. So if you want to take on those commandments, it's quite a big deal. So you would spend a minimum of a year studying with a rabbi, living in that community, going to services, being in that community, taking on the commandments, living a Jewish life. And the reason it's a minimum of a year is because sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes the longest conversion I've ever heard was 18 years, and the shortest was about 6 months. And that's because the person was already raised Jewish, but they were a patrilineal Jew, meaning their father was Jewish, not their mother, and they wanted to have an affirmation. And so they had an affirmation. There are many people who go through the affirmation. I also know someone who was raised in a Jewish foster family, but they came there when I think they were like 15. And even though they had had 6 years of Jewish life, they wanted to become Jewish. So they then had it. And I believe that conversion took 9 months, right? So you would then live that full Jewish life. And then when your rabbi decides you're ready, you would go to a Beit Din or Beis Din, which is a Jewish rabbinical court. And it doesn't have to be rabbis, but it's made up of 3 Jewish adults. Typically, they're rabbis because rabbis know a lot of what they're talking about. And they would answer questions and talk to them. And sometimes they want essays. Sometimes they want you to write an essay about certain questions. Sometimes they'll quiz you. Sometimes they'll be simple. It depends. It very much depends on the community. And then if they decide you're ready to be Jewish, we go to the mikveh, which is a ritual bath that has to be from living water. It has to be from non-stopped water. So it's not going to be just a tub. It's going to be from a natural spring. Sometimes they are even in the ocean. Or in a river, right? You would go to the mikveh and you would immerse and you would come out a Jew. Okay, that was a long thing. Come to Brazil, diva. Oh, I totally would, except I cannot yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Thistlefoot is fantastic. You should absolutely read it. I was able to go to a signing at the author of Thistlefoot. Oh, Jenna Rose Nethercott. Amazing. Love them. I can't see. Whoa, it's glitching. I wish I had some space change. I don't know what that means. We need your content on YouTube. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I'm working on it. I'm working on it so hard. I looked at my script for Palestinian Yiddish. We're at 13,000 words, guys. Sorry. I just keep doing it. The Women's Torah Commentary is a good book as well. There are some other good ones. We have a very small Jewish community here in my city, and they have a very interesting story. We arrived here because they're shipwrecked off the coast of the city 2,000 years afterwards, they essentially settled down. There's a few thousand of them, a few synagogues here. Hey. Oh, no, I can't see this comment. Chaotic Gremlins said something, but I don't know. Someone responded to Chaotic Gremlin, but I can't see Chaotic Gremlin's comment. So, yeah, Jews are prohibited from proselytizing. We don't try and make people become Jewish. Free Palestine. I hate how normal proselytizing is in this country. Me too. Me too. Okay, God, there's so many comments. I'm getting through them all. Huh. 3 months is very short. I've never heard of that. Sounds like grad school. Personally, my conversion took 5 years, and I wrote a 3-page paper outlining why I did really want to do this. Yes, this was the comment from earlier. Learning about Lilith is fun. You can check out my article, lilith.org/origins. That will have lots of good places for you to go. Whoa. I'm particularly drawn to Hasidism, and I would love to read more, but I'm not really confident I understand any boundaries there are on what non-Jews can study. You can absolutely read about Hasidism. Go for it. You're welcome to learn about it. My overalls are from Target in the year 2021. Or maybe 2020. Point is, very old. They are very cute. It was universal thread. I got them matching with a friend, and we looked like the Wonder Twins. We just stand there. But yeah, these are very fun. They're just corduroy. I'm sure people make other ones. Obviously, but... Oh, I did it, guys. We got to the bottom of all the questions. We did it. Well, considering some of the other ones, okay, I haven't watched the new Avatar: The Last Airbender because it looks bad. The show, haven't watched it. It looks bad. Have I watched commentaries on it? Yep. And they say it's bad. And I trust those commentaries because they made good points. Before we even get to 2027, we're getting 5787. Huh? By the way, in case you don't know, Judaism has its own calendar. Fun fact, most of the world had its own calendar before the Gregorian calendar, which is named after Pope Gregory, was instituted on the whole world. But yeah. I haven't seen the Odyssey, the movie, so I cannot comment. But I did love the commentary from the translator. It was like, there's no sex and the food looks gross, which I think is hilarious. I agree that I believe proselytizing is morally wrong. I always joke that I proselytize in all things except religion. I have many opinions, and I believe you should. I think my opinions are the correct opinions. Otherwise, I wouldn't hold them. I'm open to be swayed on some of them. I'm not forcing anyone, or do I even want everyone to be Jewish, but I do want you to like my opinions on other things. Oh. This is a really good question, so I want to answer it. How and why did the overall Western Jewish community allow itself to be consumed by Zionism? Like, why try to be the very people that try to eradicate you? It's just outrageously shameful and infuriating. I think that when we have to understand the greater context of how this happened. Sorry, my eyelashes are going bonkers. Zionism was, for a very long time, that's actually not true. From its very inception, right? We're talking 1890s. It was not popular, and it was rejected by most Jews. The vast majority of Jews rejected it. And Walter Laqueur, who wrote the book A History of Zionism, which I actually have right next to me, I think he wrote. I was wondering where this comb was. I was using it as a bookmark. Right. I need to stop doing that. Here. See. Okay. Where did I put it? I thought I highlighted it. Oh, wait, did I? Maybe it's in a different chapter. Okay. The opposition to Zionism is as old as Zionism itself. It has come from many directions: Jewish and non-Jewish, left and right, religious and atheist. Broadly speaking, there have been, and still are, three basic anti-Zionist positions: the assimilationist, the Orthodox religious, and the left-wing revolutionary. All three have existed from the beginnings of Zionism to the present day. So, in the beginning, right, we have this very basic premise of opposition to Zionism. And as you know, Walter Laqueur believes that there were three basic positions: the assimilationist, who wanted Jews to just assimilate into any society they're in and lose their distinct Jewish identity; the Orthodox, the religious Orthodox one, and that is the idea that there is that there's a religious reason we shouldn't establish a modern nation state. This is still adhered to by many, very famously Neturei Karta, who are often positioned as like the true Jews. I hate that positioning of like true Jews versus fake Jews. And I talked about this on Instagram, because the only fake Jew is someone who's literally not Jewish pretending to be a Jew. You can be a terrible person. You can be a really crappy person. You don't have to even follow Jewish laws or traditions. You're still a Jew, because that's how Judaism, that's how being Jewish works. And then there's the left-wing revolutionary, right? Obvious example of that. And the reason that Zionism was so successful, the mass murder of 6 million Jews, and the presentation of Zionism as the solution. Zionism came about at the end of the 1800s, the end of the 19th century, and Herzl wrote in his text that the next great war would be beneficial. Could he have predicted the Holocaust? No, I'm not claiming he did. I'm not saying he supported or encouraged the Holocaust in any way. I'm saying that ideologically Zionism was ready for the next great anti-Semitic experience, the next great wave of anti-Jewish bigotry, because it was going to happen. They knew that, right? We cannot prevent anti-Semitism until we break down all systems of bigotry. And that was never going to happen in the early 1900s and the late 1800s. I don't know if your comment, I mean, I can see comments. I'm not even looking, just monologuing here. So they knew that, they were prepared for that, and they were already building. And they weren't successful in many ways, right? The Bund was a huge opposition to them. But as anti-Jewish sentiment was ramping up, as anti-Jewish actions were ramping up across Europe and especially in Germany, Zionism was also ramping up and also positioning itself as the solution. We have, for example, the Havara Agreement or the Transfer Agreement, which, for those of you who don't know, in April, the Nazi government was boycotting Jewish businesses. And in response to this, and they were also they fired Jews from their positions. And in response to this, the Jewish Labor Bund started an international boycott. Do you know how many products were being being imported from Germany to Poland, and how many of them were Jewish, and how many of the importers responsible were Jewish? The German economy was absolutely fragile. And so the Jews started a massive boycott. And even though we know now the GDP impact of that was not that big, it was still terrifying for them. And so they were willing to capitulate to the Zionist Federation, who gave them the Havara Agreement, which was signed. And there are some big accounts that like to claim that it wasn't signed by the Nazi government. It was signed by the Minister of Finance, who was part of the Nazi government. There's no way around that. No matter how many infographics you put up saying, no, it was just between this government and this government, the Nazis weren't involved. He was the Minister of Finance for the Nazi government. And so they sort of paved the way. And so we have Jews who thankfully escaped from Nazi Germany to Palestine, where there already was a community. Because remember, there were Jews there before. Before 1900, there were Jews there. There were even Jews there from before 1800s, right? And so then we have 6 million Jews murdered. And this isn't to say every Jew who was murdered was anti-Zionist. Many were Zionist. But what was left were sort of steamrolled. Many were children. Many were incredibly young. And Zionism was then positioned as the answer. Not to mention, it was often positioned as the only answer, because guess what? Let's say you're 15 and you want to still live in Poland. You didn't necessarily have a choice. Your whole family's gone. Suck it up, Buttercup. You're getting on a boat and we're sending you to Palestine. They didn't have an option. And again, this isn't to say there weren't many who made the active choice, who believed it. There were Jews who wanted to feel powerful and strong. And this was how they would do it, by enacting the same violence that had been enacted time and time again, by taking on that identity. So that's part of how Zionism became the answer. In the US, there's actually a different answer, and that is Rabbi Andrew Kahn of the American Council for Judaism, who, by the way, I'll be doing an interview with on Friday morning on the West Coast, afternoon on the East Coast. I'll be doing an interview with them. There was a specific takeover of Reform Judaism in the US, Reform being the largest single denomination in the US. Okay, I'll read all these to you. Preaches the good word about Red Bull. The good word is that I like it. Wish we had a Jewish fantasy series. We will one day, B'ezras Hashem. Am I a millennial or Gen Z? I'm Gen Z diva. Carhartt girly. Ooh, I don't own any Carhartt, but maybe I should. The only pants I can tolerate that aren't linen. I do love linen pants and linen trousers. The overalls are cute. Thank you. This book is A History of Zionism by Walter Laqueur. And the ad is starting in 47 seconds. Let's get it in. Okay. Thrifting. Yes, I should thrift it. Okay. Starry-eyed Dicky, thank you so much. W. Bund. Limited country, most of us are blue collar physical labor, so there's usually good selection. Diva, you're glitching. No. Yeah, I hate the true Jewish person. You are absolutely. This is absolutely correct. Bigotry is still horrible, awful, and terrible and spread within Europe because you're correct. Nazi ideology was never fully stamped out. It never was. I have read Molly Crabapple's book. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm about to have an ad. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, bye. Unless you're on YouTube, in which case you and me, we're doing this together. Oh, it says ad starting soon. Okay. Would I stream Minecraft? No, I wouldn't stream Minecraft. I did play Minecraft actually for a couple years. And that's not true. I played Minecraft for many years because on and off, not consistently, because sometimes my computer would heat up so bad it would burn me. But it was really funny because there are many games that I have played. And I recently discovered a new game, which I'm keeping a secret. I'm not telling anyone because you guys are reading about it. But I discovered this game that I've been really enjoying. So my partner and I will play it, not together, we'll play our own individually. And it's been really fun. I've been really enjoying it. And right after I finish this live stream, I'm hopping in the Discord with a couple of friends of mine, and we're all going to play. We're all going to play together, except they'll be playing on their own and I'll be playing on my own, and we'll all play together. By the way, I'm going to show you guys this while you're here. This is knockoff Reese's Pieces, except I did separate them all by color. So this is the orange bowl. And by the way, the amount of orange that they gave me per thing is it's not even the amount of dispersal between the orange, the yellow, and the brown ones. So okay, fun beverage update. I'm drinking a lime-flavored polar seltzer while eating lentils and rice. Lentils and rice sounds so yummy. There's an amazing Indian restaurant in LA that makes the best lentils, and it's making me think of them, and I wish I had them so bad. I actually saw this from the ERRC, European Roma Rights Council. I saw this, and it's just devastating. I'm pretty sure I reposted it. If you're not following ERRC on Instagram, I highly recommend it because there's so much that's happening that is never going to be shown on mainstream news outlets, especially in America. We just don't see it. That's okay. You don't have to apologize for putting it in chat. Did we do it, guys? Did we make it through the ad? Did everyone get back okay? All right, I hope everyone's okay with me typing really loudly. It's the ERC, European Roma Rights Council. No weird ads. Yay. Someone else got a soda ad, which made me giggle. We have 174 followers on here. That's crazy. Ooh, that is a hot take. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if... Ooh! I lost it. Where did it go? Where did it go? Good Lord. I'm done eating these. Was enjoying it for a second. I got for AI, data centers and data centers run by AI. Yikes. By the way, if you haven't left a comment in the chat yet, this is your time to say hello. If you want, you can just say where you're watching from. I'm streaming from Los Angeles. I agree. Maybe they didn't win, but they didn't lose. I think that I'm slightly averse to the language of winning and losing in this context. Though I think I definitely agree with you in the sense that Nazis have never and were never as villainized as people like to think. because they became a caricature of a villain rather than a reality, right? It became something to say other, not something to actually really hate. Your nice drink update is hot chocolate with marshmallows. I love that. Incredible. Oh, someone said something for tzitzis. I can't see it. Where is it? Lennon, what did you say? Oh, why can't I not see this? Yup. Europa. It's so fun being a German Jew because people are like, no, Germany is totally without Nazis. And I go, yeah, wirklich? I do not think so. Hello from Portugal. You're in Vermont. I hope it's nice and cool where you are. I hope Vermont is treating you nicely. I want to go to Vermont so bad. Incredible. Look at you salvaging boxes of Coca-Cola. Westchester County, New York. Oh, yes. There is some folk magic about it. I believe it's mentioned in A Frog Under the Tongue, a really good book. Germany does not have very few alt-right. It actually is rising. The wave of Nazi resurgence is actually on the rise, and it's very, very sad and very frustrating, especially because they will hide behind the claim that, oh, it's illegal to have a swastika on something. Yeah, babes, that's not stopping anyone, is it? They're still doing it. They're still indoctrinating children. They're still violently assaulting people. No. Yep, Romania still hasn't provided reparations for 500 years of chattel slavery endured by Romani people. Fun fact, did you know that the United States... Oh, what happened? Ooh, someone spent money on the website. What did they buy? Let's see. Watching from France. Only doing 100 miles, watching from the very rural Midwest. I was driving through a really rural area of Denmark recently. And I looked at my sister and I was like, we are at least 90% of the Jewish population, if not 100% of it. Oh, it is now 76 degrees in here. Hello. Anti-Semitism or anti-Jewish bigotry far predates modern nationalism. It far predates it. And you're right, there was a corresponding rise in it in the 1800s, but it's also so much older. Nationalism is a problem in the sense that it often requires people to, again, I think the fundamental belief of superiority of one group over another, a supremacist mindset, is going to do that, right? And so I think that Southwest London, 3:30 a.m. Why are we awake? Why are we up? I want to go back to London so bad. And holiness. I think that nationalism does have a problem in terms of supremacist ideas and values, but your family's from Vilnius. Yeah. Do you agree or disagree with the idea that the West is basically all the inheritors of Rome's legacy? I would disagree with that. I don't ship overseas to France, unfortunately, because the EU has lots and lots of wild regulations that are not very useful as a small business, not very easy to deal with as a small business. You're welcome to send things. I have a PO box. You're welcome to send things to. You can always just send me a message via my website. I haven't worked with Jewish Currents. Maybe I'll pitch them something, but I haven't worked with them. Hey, if you work for Jewish Currents and you want to work with me, hey, do you want to learn about weird anti-Semitism? I've got you. That's my thing. I don't ship to the UK. Actually, do I? Let's double check. I do ship to the UK, actually. That one I do. I was like, wait a minute, because we did reopen that up recently. Because, where is it? Brexit. Where is this? Shipping and delivery. There we go. Oh, no, turn that off. Off. Thank God. Oh. Okay. No, you are not the only one who's noticed a rise in anti-Semitism. It has been steadily on the rise. Even prior to October 7th, as many people like to say, it happened only because of Zionism, and I think that's just deeply misinformed. I do love when folks can bond over where they're from in the chat. It's adorable. We did it, guys, by the way. Oh my God, we have 175 followers. Oh. First time chatter. There's something that I saw. This is still on my screen here, but I actually was ages ago. Oh, good night. I didn't see you were leaving. Oh my God, why is my stream not showing me all my things? Man, I couldn't even. There's so many chats that I missed because that was wild. Well, I'm sorry. So sorry. Okay. They meant anti-theism, not anti-Semitism. Who did? I don't know what's happening. Okay. Also, so I want to share some good news. My partner and I just got approved for a new house. Baruch Hashem, and I'm moving soon. So excited to have the stuff at order for you to get more. Mazel tov, that's huge. That's incredible. First thing to bring in, salt, sugar, and bread. Bring it into the house first. And then a mezuzah, obviously. But yeah, that's incredible. Especially with the rise of right-wing movements in Europe, it's gotten so bad. Yes, it has. Can I complain? I'm going to fetch for a second. This is just between you, me, and the 35 people here, okay? Watching everyone get so excited about Spain. Don't piss me off. Spain? Okay. Do you know, in 2015, Spain was like, you know what? Camp Castrillo Mata Judíos, which means Camp Kill the Jews, which is the name of a Spanish town or village. They were like, actually, we should change it. We should change our name. Yeah, you think? Camp Kill the Jews? Huh. Do you know how many Nazi marches there have been in Spain in the last couple years? And I'm not meaning, you know, oh, it's people who are bad. No, I mean like literal Nazis, as in swastikas, Hakenkreuze on their armbands. Spain is deeply and wildly racist, just horrendous. And their anti-Semitism is nuts. And that's not even a touch on the whole, colonizing half the world shenanigans. Quarter of the world, whatever. Right? The amount of people being like, yay, Spain, because they don't like Israel. A broken clock can still be right twice a day. You're gonna be yay, Spain, for being progressive? The Spanish Inquisition? Oh. With exactly the monarchy in Spain, ay, as a balagan, and they keep going, oh no, oh man, oh man, Spain's great. What is wrong with you? Is your memory so short? Are you a fruit fly? A goldfish, perhaps? Don't embarrass yourself. It's just embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. This one right here, by the way, from yesterday, Spanish far-right figure sparks outrage with Nazi salute outside of the Moroccan embassy. That's the España you're saying is so progressive and left-wing and amazing? Right. Okay. 2021, Nazi march in downtown Madrid. Not some random little, podunk town no one knows about ever. Madrid. Babes. Ay. Okay, someone asked a question. I have to go back to Spain for uni. So sorry. Not to rain on your parade. You're going to have a great time. It's going to be so good. I just read a novel set in Spain and it was delightful. Hopefully you too can drug your colleagues with Molly while pretending to be an adult. None of the Europe has gotten rid of its fascist ever. Yes, the Spanish Inquisition was fun. So was the Portuguese Inquisition. You know how many Inquisitions they did? You know how many Inquisitions there were? So many more. Okay, it might be sort of a basic question. Are there any resources you recommend to someone who's sort of new to the subject? I'd like to think I know more than the average person because of my boyfriend's heritage. Okay, here's where I'd start. Not to toot my own horn, pat my own back. Go to my website. I'm putting in the putting it in the chat, Jewitches.com. If you go to my website, there's a section called the blog. Tons of articles you can read. Then you can go to the section called Gesundheit. Everyone say Gesundheit to my partner right now. Anyway, there are lots of blog posts. Some of them are things about, for example, the witch craze. Raise your hand if you were taught about the witch craze of Europe. How many people died? How many witches were persecuted? Okay, no. Some of you? That's fine. Europe's witch craze was modeled after its persecution of Jews. And a lot of the things that were believed to be about witches were just anti-Semitic propaganda now being put against someone else. Fun fact, in Hungary, in certain places, if it was your first time being convicted of witchcraft, the punishment was to stand in the village square wearing the clothes of a Jew. That's because they forced Jews to wear specific clothes to identify yourselves, and it was seen as enough of a punishment that it was the punishment for the crime of witchcraft was to be seen as a Jew all day. That was enough humiliation. The Malleus Maleficarum which was the text that was used to prosecute witches, that was written by a man who had been at a trial of Jews in Turin. And it was based stylistically on the previous Malleus Judaeum, the hammer of the Jews. And a lot of these anti-Semitic caricatures have remained and crossed over. I also have a blog post and a podcast episode talking about blood libel. Blood libel is a really, really, really important thing to understand, especially as it's being weaponized by Zionist Jews who say anytime you say like, hey, Israel murders children, they go, that's blood libel. No, it's not. That's not what blood libel is. So thank you so much for this Gesundheit. Even if you don't know how to spell it, I really appreciate it. So that's an important one. And yes, that is almost an exact quote from my article. You and I came up with the same thing, same mind, great minds. Yeah, a lot of the witches, the ones being accused and the ones doing accusing, were both Christians. It was sort of a Spider-Man situation. I'm not sure what your question is, Pixie. Jews, Zionism is a 1900s ideology, well, late 1800s ideology, the desire and the creation and support of a Jewish ethno-state, which is not the same thing as Judaism. Many Jews do not want a Jewish state. They don't want a modern state that preferences Jews over non-Jews. Oh, we have 8 more minutes until there's an ad. That's crazy. I wonder how this works. All right, we're checking on my phone because I want to log into the Twitchy app and see. Analytics. Thank you so much for making sure I didn't get that one confused. I agree that there shouldn't be religious states. I say that wholeheartedly because when you preference one group over another group, what is going to happen? And I'm going to say this really strongly. I actually think that a lot of the secular states we have are not actually secular. For example, United States of America. Oh, I forgot it takes 24 hours to update analytics on this here app. Yeah, that is very true. How do I do this? I don't know how to do this. What does this mean? What does this mean? Wow, what are all these buttons? I love that you guys are also patient with me as I do this because good Lord. Yeah, you're right. They did try and make up for it. I'm saying that 2015 is crazy late to get to that game. 2015 is wild. Unfortunately, I do love the New Zealand accent. New Zealand? Everything is so wide. I don't know how to even do it. It's just, no, clear. New Zealand? It's delightful. I follow quite a few Kiwi creators, and I just love it. Just love it. Sorry, guys. Love it. Oh, no, clear. I was at a family member's in London, and I don't remember how old I was young, and I was incredibly sick. I remember crawling because my family was on a lower level, and I remember trying to like crawl towards the stairs, and I was like, oh no, this is it. All I remember is I laid on the sofa and I watched H2O, Just Add Water, And I got in the car and we were driving back to Heathrow. And I was like, I'm a mermaid. I believe in mermaids. My older brother was like, mermaids aren't real. And I was devastated. There was also yeah, in God we trust is a bummer. Yeah. Is there? There is. And the real question is, can we impregnate them? And can they impregnate us? I did a podcast episode on it. It's very fun. Yeah. Moses Simonson. You know what's a fun one? I do love the, what's happening over here? There's so many buttons. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the back end of what this means, but there are so many buttons on Twitch on the back end. Like, what's going on back here? What does this mean? What is a prediction? What's a prediction for my stream? What am I predicting? It seems silly. What am I? Oh, predicting with a channel. I don't want to do that. It feels like betting. I don't really want to do that, do I? Okay, now I can't see anything. Oh, and I'm down here. Okay, so sorry for the long message. I try my hardest to educate myself, but it's so hard. Tools reliable information, part of the punk subculture, so I'm aware of basic things like dog whistle symbols and surface information, but I feel like there's never enough to educate about the subject as vast as anti-Semitism and its history, and so I want to be uneducated. Thank you for the resources. Yeah, so we're going to do the fun thing where I share my screen for a second. So I can lead you through a couple things. Nope, that's not what I want to do. This one. Okay. Can you see my, why can no one see my screen? Press share screen. I did. There we go. All right. This is my website. Exit preview. Proof that it is my website, by the way. So this is the shop where you can buy things. This is the anti-Semitism education page. If you want an alternative to the ADL, because anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. So this has things like, what is a dog whistle? Context matters more than online trolls, because I hate when someone's like, oh, they're just trolling. That's not what that means, bub. Go down here. We've got some slurs. These ones are things you can figure out, you know. This one, by the way, not this one. This one got in my comments the other day. That was crazy. This one is wild. These are numerical dog whistles. These ones are good to know. These are the 14 words. You'll see these quite often. 1488 is also important. So it's the 14 words in HH, meaning Hail Hitler. This one is also interesting. It means Hail Christ. It means that they are a Christian fascist. Then we've got dog whistles, slurs, and conspiracy theories. These are things to know. For example, this one here is, you'll see it all the time. It's the idea that Anne Frank's diary is false or falsified. Because like, well, ballpoint pens didn't exist at the time. Great, she didn't write in a ballpoint pen. Anyway, Blutenboden, Blutenehre, right? Early lifer. This one was so sad because like I genuinely love looking at Wikipedia. This is the idea they'll be like, oh, they're an early lifer, just trying to say they're Jewish, because that's where you would see if someone was born into a Jewish family. This one is gross because it's also sexual harassment. Ooh, hate that one. I do get it a lot though. Let's see what else. Well, right? Wooden doors is another one. This is the idea that it was, they couldn't have been murdered in the gas chamber, you know. And then down here we have Christian anti-Semitism. This one's important because these ones are a lot. Yeah, a lot of them. And then down here we've got some images. So for example, the burning cross, the Celtic cross, the life rune, iron cross, Thala rune, swastika / Hakenkreuz, black sun, Sonnenrad, Weissangel, Pfeilknut, Third Reich eagle, that kind of thing. But these are all the basic things. So if people are like, why is it right? Let's focus on my face. That is just that one. Now go to the blog. There's lots of fun things on this section. Goblins, Jews, and anti-Semitism. You'll see this one a lot. I think it's really, this one's really important because it talks about a lot of aspects that are often misunderstood. And I think it's really dangerous the way that some people make blatant commentary like all goblins are anti-Semitic. Well, that's just not true. There are some weird things, like, for example, where is it? Yuck, these are all boring images. This one right here. Cornish Tommyknockers. They were believed to be the spirits of Jews who had worked in the mines, and they were being punished for the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Like, when I tell you some of these things are just like bonkers. Okay. But there's another really important part of this one, which is that this is the idea of fairy tales as propaganda. And this is really important because this one right here, in case you're wondering, is the swine is the Jewish foster mother. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a man licking a swine's anus. And this is a man suckling on the teat of a swine. And that's the idea that Jews who don't even eat pork were literally like swine. We were like animals. So that's an interesting. This one, by the way, this is a German children's book from the Nazi era, to Giftpilz. This is the poison mushroom. And see, this is in school. The Jewish nose is crooked at its tip. It looks like the number 6. They are teaching German children how to identify Jews. These are all important things. This is a really good article. I'm really proud of this one. This is a really good article I say about my own work. Let's see, what else can I talk? Which one? Where is it? Blood libel. And then, you know what? We have to do one more thing, and that is go to Substack, because, so I do have a Substack as well. Unfortunately, the reality is I could not publish this one on my website because it was too long. They wouldn't let me. I'm still trying to figure out another way to do it. We have this one here, which you might be like, how is this possible about anti-Semitism? Christmas trees. Christmas trees aren't pagan. I don't know if you ever heard that. Maybe you were taught that. Maybe you believe it. Christmas trees are not pagan. There is no evidence of that. It's not. And you might be like, what? Well, how could this be bigoted? Unfortunately, you're never going to believe it. It was nationalists, German nationalists. And then the Folkists. Yeah, this is a bummer. And then the Nazis. The Nazis did a lot, including, they would give out Christmas trees in 1933. This is from a Nazi Christmas tree drive. Yeah. Here's Hitler with his Christmas tree. Yeah. This is from the Nazi Advent calendar. These are different symbols of Christian, what they consider the symbols. This is interesting because remember that rune we looked at earlier? Oh, here it is again, but it has a Christmas tree and the wholesome Nazi family. Yeah. Here's Nazi tinsel. Isn't that insane? Yeah. Who is Jade from TikTok? But I love it. I'm glad they introduced me to you, or you to me. Well, I guess back and forth. Uh-oh, too many things are happening. I don't wear an apron on Shabbos, but I do dress up for Shabbos unless I'm staying home, in which case I'm wearing pajamas. I mean, for Kabbalat Shabbat, different. I don't know why I said it in that awkward, like half English, half Hebrew. For Kabbalat Shabbat, so for Friday nights, I usually try and dress up. But I've also done it in literally my jammies, and then I get straight in bed. Did I miss the ad? Was there an ad break in there? I'm so sorry. If I missed the ad break, that's on me. There was, right. Right. No ad for me. Right. So who gets the ads? Does everyone get the ad? How curious. It's random. All right. Perfect. Yay. New yarmulke that's not Zionist. Etsy, maybe? No clue. Did they just join stream? I don't know. I don't think so. Lennon did not just join stream, and they didn't get an ad either. Yeah, light Shabbos candles with your baby. Been here the entire time. I have no idea. No AI ads. Yay. By the way, someone commented on one of the other streams. They're like, why do you move all the way around? Because I do. By the way, I have been working on securing. You just joined the Discord. Oh my God. And I see you. I just got the notification. Welcome. Yeah, shrimp posture. No, they just said, why do you keep moving so much when you're sitting? Because it hurts my knees so bad. People who have subscriptions don't get ads. All right, I just learned that. I didn't know that. That was wild. I just want to say thank you, by the way. I am very, very, very grateful that everyone you guys have shown up and been here and joined and hung out. It means a lot to me. And it's difficult being a small business owner. Obviously, I would much rather do this than work a corporate job, because as a chronically ill person, it's really difficult. But it's also very scary being a small business owner at this time of life, right? It's really strange and it's really hard. Summer is especially difficult because there's no holidays for people to buy gifts for. Even the Jewish holidays aren't really gifty ones, like Tu B'Av, buy flowers maybe, right? So it's been very difficult. And I have been trying to figure out the best way forward. For those of you who don't know, maybe you're a new follower, but my dad died in April. So this has been a really weird year for me. My dad died. It was Pesach, and then my dad died. And so I had to take the weeks. I took Pesach off, obviously, because work during Pesach and then like Passover. And then my dad died, so I had to sit Shiva. And then it was May, and then June, and then I had plans in June, so I couldn't fix that. So, it's just been weird. It's been very strange. And so I'm just grateful that people are showing up, and I'm grateful that you guys want to hear what I have to say. So I don't know. Okay. I'm glad you have YouTube Live so I can go another day without getting on Twitch for the first time. Believe me, I'm also grateful for this. By the way, my goal with Twitch and YouTube, the reason I have my Venmo on the screen, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little thing that says my Venmo. I have to pay to use the live streaming platform I use that makes it possible to do YouTube and TikTok and Twitch at the same time. What a pain, guys. What a pain. All of it's such a pain. Yeah, so for Shabbat, there's multiple steps to it. So there's prayers that you sing, you light candles, you bless the wine, you wash your hands ritually, and then you bless the challah, which is the braided loaf of bread at the end. And because challah is feminine, the loaf of challah is covered with a beautiful cloth until the very end of the ceremony, when you remove it and then you eat it. It's the idea that she doesn't need to know she's the last part. She doesn't need to know she's the final act. Yeah. I promise that one of the things I feel really angry about is the idea that there are no silly questions. And if you're asking in good faith, I absolutely will answer in good faith. And honestly, sometimes even if you're asking in bad faith, I'll answer in good faith most of the time. Sometimes I'll answer questions and people are like, they did not mean that. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think that we need a more educational world. And I think that if I want the world to be better, I have to be better. So anyway, the challah is so beautiful. I love her every week, even though I can't eat her because celiac. Oh, thank you for watching every ad. I appreciate it. Can you hear that horrible dog yelping outside? She does this all the time, constantly, at the beginning of this live stream earlier today. Well, if you want to share your name, you're welcome to, but I think Lennon is really funny. I think it's really funny. I also love Moomin. By the way, completely random is the fact that I am literally fiending. I'm chomping at the bit. I'm losing my mind because I believe so. I want this so bad. This is him. Okay. This is okay. Snoopy. Snoopy inside of a pumpkin, like right there here. This is my guy. I love him so much. And I have an entire board dedicated to Snoopy as a pumpkin and Halloween Snoopy, but specifically the one as a pumpkin, because there are other ones. There's like Witch Snoopy. He's cute too. Like, oh, look how cute this is. Are you kidding me? Oh, if I had $1 million, you would know. Probably because I'd make this thing free and there wouldn't be a single ad on it. I need there to be a Jewish Snoopy really bad. For those of you who haven't seen him, by the way, I do have a Jewish Snoopy in the back. A friend of mine gifted him to me. I don't know if you wait, I'm going to show you him. I love him. Okay, it's Snoopy. And he has payas. So he's Jewish Snoopy, Joopy. I haven't seen Doug, but you should show me Doug. I would love to see Doug. I am not a huge collector person. That's a lie. I collect many things, but I don't collect single characters until Snoopy. And it happened a couple years ago, and I don't know what happened to me. It just came for me. I don't know what happened. I just look at this. This is a mirror. It's so cute. And there's a little paw print and it lights. Okay. It used to light up. I have to charge it. Everything's USB-C chargeable these days to charge it. Yeah. I love Snoopy so much. And not to be, an evil consumerist, but I just, sorry, we're going to take a 5-minute excursion and we're going to call it So Hard Takes You Shopping, where I just show you things that I want to buy on the internet. Anthropologie. Okay. You don't have to buy from Anthropologie because they're awful, but there's one thing that I'm not buying anything from them, but look at this. Look how beautiful this is. By the way, I carry this exact candle in my store, this exact company, I carry them, and they're cheaper in my shop. Yeah, they're cheaper in my store. But look how beautiful this plate is. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? Jewish Snoopy is not my mascot, but he could be. He could be. Moomin and Choco Cat. Oh, I'm so sad. That's actually quite sad. Do you see this plate? Is this not so beautiful? Wow, look at this. Oh, and then the Shane. Look how beautiful. Are you joking me? I want these cocktail napkins so bad. Do I have $48 to spend on them? No. Do you think I'm not familiar with the Tinkerbell universe? I'm from the Hollow. Okay, I understand. I get it. Will those foods make my taste? I don't know. Make my taste better. I don't know if they will, but we can find out together. Like, what if I just want to? Ooh, Halloween. Let's look together. There's nothing I love more than walking around to Home Goods. Okay, except for walking around to Home Goods with a beverage in hand. And I'm also, I'll say this, even about Snoopy things, I'm very picky. I'm incredibly picky. Not everything gets my attention and not everything makes me happy. And you might be like, I thought we were talking about politics. Everything is political, even these. For example, this is cute. I wouldn't buy it though. Why? It doesn't fit. This is cute. I also wouldn't buy it. Why? It doesn't fit. This is kind of funny, but I don't want to bring heartbreak into my home. I'm not bitter, so I'm good. This is a cute thing. Let's see. Ooh, these are nice. I don't drink wine though. So it would really be useless in my home. Oh, I'm very picky about these glasses. I have a Brezel one, but it's this style, but I don't like the multicolor. I just don't do it. This is ugly. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Oh my God, it's 5 a.m. Go to sleep. Sleep well. That's what I've seen the AI merch on Michaels.com. See, I was already Halloween's. I was already there. Let's go. And it looked all AI. Nothing more that I love than drinking chocolate almond milk out of a wine glass. But it's just the thing is I already have so many and I can't use them all. See, tarot card wall decor. Are you AI? I can't tell. And I don't want to be scared when I'm looking at you, you know? This is beautiful, though. This is cute. This is disgusting. Oh, I hate this. Let's see. We need something fun and whimsical. What is this? Sapphic? Looks like it. Let's see. This is very Catholic. Look at this. Yeah. Should be able to put a cross in there and get it over with. Good Lord. What do you mean rattan style? What is it, plastic? I don't know, guys. This is getting me. I'm not a huge. You want 50 American dollars? Spinnst du? I need someone else to tell me what fairy talent I am. I don't know what fairy talent I would be. Wow, I think 14 people left when I did that. Thank you so much for sticking around my shenanigans. I don't know what talent I would be. Razel knitting its filling bag for a double. I don't know what fairy talent I would be, but I feel like it would be not tinkering, that's for sure. I don't think I'd be a sunshine fairy. I don't think I'd be a fast flying fairy. I think I'd either be garden, maybe a library fairy. I think I'd be in the library, maybe. I wouldn't be a light talent because I don't like the bright lights. Also, my eyes are light, they're blue, which means that they are absolutely useless in bright light. Can't see nothing at all. I would probably winter fairy is correct. I might also be a good night, sleep well, Laila Tov, good Nacht. By the way, it's always funny when people learn to say good Nacht, and sometimes it's hard for certain language speakers to say ch, to do a guttural throat. So they say good Nacht, and I'm like, you can't say that because that means naked. You've said good naked. Yeah. You can't tell me good naked and expect me to be chill with it. I'm not a huge fan of that. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, Kinderlach. I think it's been good. Tefillin bags are so beautiful. I love the old ones. By the way, what's one of the things I do on Patreon? If you're, I think it's $5 up tier, $5 tier and up. Every week I post new Jewish. Every Wednesday we post Jewish art. So whether it's an amulet, whether it's Judaica, tefillin bags, clothing, portraiture, yeah. Wow. AI companies lying? Darn. Who could have seen that one coming? Whoa. You are packing for certainly many different things. For a funeral, opening an airport, and surveying a railroad. I couldn't guess what you did in a million. Actually, maybe I'm a civil engineer. We work in something with building things. But good Lord. One, so sorry for your loss. May their memory be a blessing. Two, I believe in packing like I believe in God. And three, yes, it's like saying año versus ano in Spanish. Mi ano favorito. Did you mean año? Yes, you did. It's like papa versus papa. Architect, so close. I was so close. What did I say? Civil engineer? Damn. Well, mazel tov on the airport. Good job. Can I say this? My least favorite airport in the world, Denver. Why? It sucks. Number 2, Georgia. Boo. Oi, go pack. Laila Tov and Phil Spass have so much fun. Yeah, the evil horse isn't even why. It's the bathrooms. They stink. Sorry. So sorry to Coloradans. Also, there are so many times where I've smelled something and I'm physically taken back. I've been transported back into the Denver airport restroom. It's quite jarring. You have to fly through Denver. So sorry. That's on me. I should have done better on that one. You know who? Berlin's airport also sucks. And I say that. And you know what else sucks? The best part of Frankfurt, the city, is the airport. You know how terrible that is? It's just my opinion about Frankfurt. And everyone always gets mad when I say that. Oy. Oh, no. Yeah. Though you know what? There is a Dutch Bros not that far from it. There's a Dutch Bros in the same street where I think there's like a Culver's, a Dutch Bros, and a King Soopers on the other side. So it's, yeah. I think you should absolutely make a modern Sterntecho. You should make one. I've been toying around with it. I've been looking at some of them, and I'm like, let's make a Sterntecho. I've been considering it. I would love to visit Georgia, but I don't have the plans or the funds to do so. Here's the thing. I actually love airports. I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. I'm the best version of myself when I'm traveling, okay? I'll have to show you this soon. Maybe I can show you my phone because I don't feel like sharing my Canva right now. Every time I travel, I do something a little bit nonsensical, except it works for me and it's perfect. And if you criticize it, I'll start crying. I plan every single one of my travels by building a Canva document that has all of my clothing, and then it becomes a packing list. And then I do it also for, it's not loading them, but I also do it for my skincare and my makeup. And then I plan conceptual outfits. So for example, this is the flight outfit, which is a t-shirt with a large sweater. Wear a t-shirt under it. Honestly, wear a long sleeve. You're about to say, why would I do that? Because if you're like me and you prefer to be dressed more modestly, I was flying out of Munich. I was flying out of the Munich airport, München. I got dropped off. I'm going through security. And I had a cardigan on. It was actually a Tracht cardigan, like very traditional, but it has metal buttons on the front. And they told me I have to take it off to go through the scanner. And I said, I can't because I'm not wearing proper clothing underneath it. And they said, you can, or we're going to have to pat you down. And I said, that's fine. I'll do the physical pat down. And they said, no, we're going to do it. Like it was horrendous. And so I ended up standing there in my t-shirt, which I don't usually show above the elbow. And also I was absolutely exposed in the München airport. It was bonkers. Ugh. Anyway, so this is my favorite thing to do. And I'm going to be traveling again in September. So you must plan your full outfit and accessory, as in purses. And so people are always like, well, how do you get the exact items that you own? Some of them are not exact. Like this tank top is just an approximation. But also if I buy something new, I find it immediately online. But also you can just reverse Google. You can just search for it. Just put it to work. Okay. That college paper about airports sounds so fascinating. I would read that in my spare time. I would genuinely read that because I want to know about airports. Traditional German knitting, unfortunately, they're just tragically in German. I unfortunately love LAX. Los Angeles International Airport. All right, dear friends, it is almost time for another ad, which means it's time for me to get off because it's 8 p.m., which means it's time for me to get a snack and get ready for bed. Okay, it's been lovely. I'll see you all next week when we do this again.